Good evening, guys, and welcome to this week's episode. Oh, it's a bit bright there, isn't it? I didn't want to shut the blinds because let some sun in. We'll be alright, won't we? As always, you probably listen to this on a lot of different platforms, so do the usual stuff. You know, if you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. If you listen to a podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you listen to this on Facebook, then please do hit like, comment, share, say hi, let me know where you're from, even if you're watching this on the replay. All of this basically just helps the exposure of whatever platform you're listening on to. Basically, it just pushes it out to more people, essentially. So any help there would be very much appreciated. Thank you. And I'm going to talk tonight about a topic that I think a lot of people struggle with, which is the scale, right? Because sometimes it can be our friend and a lot of the time it's not our friend, right? So I'm going to talk a bit tonight about the scale, okay? So I will say that, the scale is a good way to track weight, okay? Over time, it's a good way of tracking progress. What I will say though is weight can fluctuate for a lot of different reasons. And I'm going to name a list here, and the list is probably more extensive than this, okay? So things like your menstrual cycle, I'm pretty sure a lot of females who are watching this can attest to that. If you eat more carbs or more salt, if you haven't been to the toilet yet, your hydration levels, the time of day that you weigh yourself, the meal size before you weigh yourself, your fiber intake, digestion, stress, sleep, glycogen stores, all of these, okay, can impact your weight, okay? And weight can fluctuate for all these different reasons, okay? I mean, I, as an experiment before, have weighed myself in the morning, in the evening, and found myself to be like 3-4 pounds heavier, for example. I also tend to have, say, like a takeaway on a Sunday night, and I'll notice that on a Monday, I tend to be 2 or 3 pounds heavier than normal. If I gain 2 or 3 pounds of fat, no, it's just a bit of water retention, right? And usually by Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm back at the weight I was before. And that's the point that I want to make here is all of these basically, in terms of our weight, they're all just water retention. They just increase water retention, okay? And a big distinction I want to make here is this is the difference between weight loss and fat loss, okay? Now, when people say they want to lose weight, what they really mean is they want to lose fat, okay? Like, people want to look more toned. They want to be thinner, slimmer. This is fat loss, okay? It's not weight loss. They're not the same, okay? Because you can lose weight very easily by manipulating all of those factors that I've just mentioned, okay? Very simply, don't eat, like, for example, if you want to lose weight, just stop eating carbs. Just stop eating as many carbs and you will, and now I want to say as well, this isn't because carbs are bad. It's just basically when you eat carbs, you also store water, okay? So basically if you stop eating carbs, you also get rid of water, okay? And that causes weight loss. You might not have lost any fat, but you've lost weight, okay? And again, that's the big distinction I want to make here, the difference between weight loss and fat loss. And that's also what we're going to get into, which is kind of what I want to talk about is, whilst the scale is good, it's important to have other measures, again, just to make this distinction, okay? Hey up, Brad, mate, thanks for tuning in, pal, and thanks for saying hi. Don't forget to say hi, guys, hit like, hit share, etc. It just helps the video to go out to more people, so I would appreciate that, thank you. So yeah, basically what I want to say is, like the only way to lose fat is to be in a calorie deficit. You have to be eating less calories than you're burning, okay? And what I kind of want to put out through this video is not to always go crazy and focus too much on what the number on the scale is saying, and to have other measures to make this distinction between weight loss and fat loss, okay? Which I'll keep coming back to. So I'll firstly want to say again that I get people to track their weight because it is still a good measure, okay? But I want to make a few points around how you do this, okay? I would recommend that you focus more on weekly and monthly changes, so week to week and particularly month to month, okay? Hey Jennifer, thanks for saying hi, it has been a long time. Hope you're keeping well too. Thanks for tuning in, Jennifer, and thanks for saying hi too, I do appreciate it. So yeah, focus more on weekly and monthly changes, okay? Why? Because they just give these fluctuations time to settle, okay? Now, I do recommend that if you can weigh every day and take an average of the week, that is a really cool thing to do. Only do this if you can sort of handle the fluctuations, okay? Because some people, it drives them crazy, okay? It drives them crazy to see their weight going up and down each day, okay? But if you can do this without obsessing, it's actually quite cool to see. And it kind of opens people's eyes to this difference again between weight loss and fat loss, that your weight does fluctuate. And what you will find with a lot of people is they'll see this fluctuation from day to day, you know, from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday, Thursday to Friday, their weight will go up and down a little bit, but then you'll get a weekly average and that will be less than last week. So as long as that weekly average is going down, it doesn't matter what we're doing day to day, okay? But again, this is sometimes a really cool eye-opener for people to really understand sort of how much your weight can fluctuate, because you can see these changes going up and down, but you can still see that trend that is going downwards. And that's the important thing. As long as that trend is going downwards, those fluctuations don't mean anything, okay? And basically what this just does is that gives you a better idea of the bigger picture, right? Because like I say, as long as that downward trend and those weekly averages are good, that's fine, okay? So that's why I like to get people to do that if they can handle that. If not, focus more on week to week, but also in particular, I think, month to month. So what I tend to get people to do is just to pick 3 days in the month, first, second, and third, for example, and then you weigh on those 3 days, okay? I would always as well get people to take 3 each time and take an average, but you know, it's up to you. But take those 3 days and then compare those from 1 month to 1 month, to the next month, sorry. Because again, it just gives time for these fluctuations to go up and down and for them to settle. And it just gives you a better picture of what's really going on, okay? Ladies, I know this probably goes without saying, but probably think about when you put these weigh-ins in terms of your monthly cycle. But I mean, I think you know that anyway. Yeah, so basically just giving ourselves a bigger picture, right? And this is why I strongly advise on having other methods. Because again, it's that distinction between weight loss and fat loss, right? Because the reason that I say to people to have different forms of tracking progress is because they will move independently of each other, okay? So this is what I'm talking about, where fat loss and weight loss isn't the same thing, okay? Because you can be losing fat, but not lose weight. And I really want to say this again and emphasize this. You could lose 2 pounds of fat, but if you hold 2 pounds of water, the scale doesn't move, okay? So now, this is the importance of having other measures other than the scale, because if you only looked at the scale, you would think you'd failed. And I see this so often, that people are like, oh, I failed, I didn't lose any weight, and I've been trying so hard, I suck, and I'm gonna quit. Whereas if they'd actually had other measurements, they would probably find that they moved. But just because the scale didn't move, they think that they've failed, okay? And again, it's just this big distinction, like I keep saying, between weight loss and fat loss. They're not the same thing, okay? You can lose fat, but not lose weight because you're retaining water, okay? And the two ones that I tend to get people to focus on, to the two other forms of measurement, well, tracking progress, are measurements and photos, okay? I know people will probably ask me, I don't tend to recommend that people measure their body fat. You can if you really want to. I just don't really get people to do it just because there's no real accurate way of doing it, okay? Outside of a sort of research lab setting, it's just not that accurate, okay? So I don't really get people to focus on it. But again, if you want to do it, you can. There are different methods that are better than others. But to be honest, I wouldn't bother, okay? What I would focus on is measurements and photos. So very simple, get a tape measure, measure yourself, right? Most obvious one will be your waist. But you can have other things as well, like your arms, your thighs, etc. if you want to. And, you know, I'd recommend probably doing these monthly. And what also kind of fits into this is also like how your clothes feel, if you know what I mean. So they're kind of the same, right? So if you lose inches, your clothes are probably going to feel looser. Or if you notice that your clothes are feeling a bit looser and you measured yourself, you probably realise that you've lost a few inches, etc., etc. But again, you could have no weight loss, but lose inches, right? And that's progress. It doesn't matter what the scale says. If you've lost inches, you've made progress. But again, if you're only focusing on the scale, you see no progress. Again, why it's so important to have other ways of tracking progress. And the next one, last one, photos. I will say a side note, take a before photo. Please take a before photo. Because I see so many people that regret not taking it. Just because they don't like how they look and they just don't want to take it. But I see so many people that when they lose a significant amount of weight, they regret not taking it so badly. And you never have to show people these photos, ever. In fact, get your partner or someone to take the photo and you don't even have to look at it. But I can guarantee if you lose a significant amount of weight, you will regret not having it. Okay, so just take it. And I recommend for these photos, having as little clothing as possible. Okay, just because we want as much of the body on show as possible so we can see that progress. You know, if you're covered from head to toe, it's very difficult to see. If, you know, more skin is on show, it's just a lot easier to spot, okay? And again, this kind of goes into, like what I said, how the clothes feel, how your clothes feel fit into your inches. Also, what you might notice is sort of the photos, people start to spot it on you. So, you know, we can't dictate where we lose fat. It just, you know, it just happens. It's just genetics. Life sucks, I know, but unfortunately you can't. So you might not notice it, but someone might spot you and go, oh my God, your face looks so much thinner. And you'll be like, oh, I've never noticed that. And you know, and again, like I say, these all interact in different ways and they move at different times to each other. And that's why it's just so important to have more of them, because then we see more of the bigger picture, right? Whereas if we only focus on one, we lose the sight of the other things that are moving. And basically what it means is we just don't think we're making progress when we really are, okay? So always, yeah, Jennifer, definitely. Say you hated it, but you did it anyway. And you keep them in your phone, show no one, and then looking back, you were so glad. Exactly. Proof in point, right? It's easy for me to say, but when you see other people that have experienced this, well, I mean, I don't have to say any more to that. Jennifer's nailed it on the head, right? Doesn't matter if you hate doing it, have it just in case. Because I can guarantee you'll want it, looking back, definitely. Yeah, definitely, just wear a bikini. Like, yeah, so, you know, usually the easiest way is underwear or bikinis, swimwear. Again, you just want as much on show as possible because then you just see more progress. Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, it's such a great feeling to show people what you've done. That's fine, don't worry about that. You know, it happens, get back on track, you'll be fine in the long term. But you've done it before, right? So you can do it again. And thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. Because, yeah, I totally agree with you. Just have them. Because even if you think you won't show them to people, when you've made all that progress, why wouldn't you? You know, you're proud of yourself. Why wouldn't you show people that? But, yeah, have them. Definitely have them. So, yeah, basically, well, that's it essentially. But what I'm trying to put, the biggest thing I know, I've said it so many times, but I really want to get this into people's heads, is that whilst the scale is good, it doesn't always show the full picture. And that's why it's good to have other forms of tracking progress. My favourites are measurements and photos, because we just get a bigger sense of the picture. And again, these can move independently of each other. And just because you're not making progress in one area doesn't mean you're not making progress. Okay? And yeah, I bet you did. So Jennifer says she posted the pictures on Facebook because you're so proud. And why wouldn't you be proud, right? And, you know, but if you hadn't, you know, sort of gritted your teeth and took that photo when you really didn't want to, you wouldn't have had them to look back on, right? So again, take the photos. Don't even have to look at them. Get someone else to do it if you really don't want to. One final point I want to make, guys, as well is whilst weight loss, fat loss may be our goal, don't lose sight of the bigger picture, right? And I really want to put a big emphasis on this as well, because your happiness and who you are is not defined by a number, right? There are so many other ways of tracking progress outside of how much you weigh, how many inches, your waist is, and how you look in a photo, okay? So don't lose sight of things like how you feel. Do you feel better mentally and physically? Do you have more energy? Are you fitter now so you can spend more time playing with your kids or your grandkids? Can you walk further with less pain, or you're not as out of breath as you used to be, Maybe you couldn't climb the stairs without being out of breath, and now you can go for a 5-minute walk and feel fine. Do you feel stronger just with day-to-day activities, carrying the grocery shopping back, things like that? Did that used to be a difficult task for you, and now you do it, you've got 4 bags on each arm, for example? Are you sleeping better? Are you less stressed? Do you have more confidence, more self-esteem? So many different things, right? And just a big point I want to make is just don't lose sight of the bigger picture, in the fact that you're creating a happier and a healthier life. Don't lose sight of that trying to reach some arbitrary number, okay? Because you are so much more than a number, okay? And there's so much more to life than hitting some random number, okay? So I just want to put a big point on that to finish. Exactly, Jennifer. We are worth more than a number. Absolutely. And, all of those things that I've just mentioned there, whilst they may not show up on a scale or on inches or on photos, they are what make you happier, right? And a healthier person. And they are also unbelievable signs of fantastic progress. So don't lose sight of that bigger picture too. I think that's it. I thought that was going to be a short one, but as always, I've managed to ramble on for 15 minutes. I shouldn't be surprised, really, because I always manage to. But hopefully you got some value from that, guys. If you did and you're still here, please hit like again. Doesn't matter if you've already done it. Drop a comment, any thoughts you've had, like Jennifer has. Jennifer, thank you so much for your interaction. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to hear other people's thoughts, and it's also nice not to just talk to myself. So it's also always cool to interact with people, even if you just say hi and where you're from. Even that's great. It's awesome. It's always nice to hear. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you very much. And that's nice to hear. I'm glad. Thank you. As always, guys, keep the interaction up. Hit like, hit a comment, drop a comment, share it, etc., etc. Any questions you have, don't have to be related to this video, drop them in. Even if the video's done, I'll still see them. I'll still get back to you. And throughout the week as well, if you can private message me, send me an email, etc., etc. I think that's it. I think that's it. So, what day is it today? It's Tuesday, isn't it? I've changed the days now, so I almost said then have a nice weekend, because I normally do on a Thursday. But enjoy your week. Hopefully everyone's keeping safe in this crazy situation at the moment. So continue to stay safe, guys. Hope everyone's okay. And I shall see you soon. Take care. Thank you very much.